Thank you for inviting me to talk about this project. So I'm going to talk to you about something slightly different, which is not quite ontologies or knowledge graphs, but something graph-based, but is very, really important to our community. And we've seen a lot of data repositories, but I want to introduce to you the Cancer Complexity Knowledge Portal as part of the MC Squared project on metastatic cancer. And the idea of the creation of this knowledge portal is to just start simply index the cancer data we have in the US. That's it. Just index it to know it exists so then we can improve the quality of the metadata, quality of how you get access to the data, and how you make sure it's available. So, the CCKP is one of the NIH supported data resources. We're a domain specific resource on cancer, and we disseminate in data sets from multiple consortia funded by the NCI. And all of these consortia collaborate together, and we, as part of the MC Squared project, run outreach programs, community engagement programs to try and get teams of researchers to actually work together to standardize how they're collecting the data, and then deposit that data in multiple NIH supported data resources. But the CCKP portal is the index, the front door to how you can get access to all of the data that's available in the ecosystem. So it is a public resource that is accessed globally, and we're slowly improving the relationship between which grants funded what data sets, what publications came out of it, what tools have been generated to use that, and what educational resources are connected to that. So as a cancer researcher, you will be able to find out not just the data set itself, which is important, but what publications came out of it, what tools were used and developed as part of it. How do I learn more about that data? So it's a graph of sorts, but not quite an ontology or a knowledge graph, but it's a graph of interrelated things that is really important to the research community. So we are trying to create a centralized index, but it doesn't have to be centralized. We're doing it because nobody else is doing it. So we pull together all of the information from various different resources across the ecosystem, harmonize and synchronize all of that metadata records, pull together all the dataset entities, build out the tables, and then publish that as this mini graph. That's all we're doing. These four pieces of information that are interconnected and highly interconnected with each other, so that it's a well curated set of information that you can find on everything around that data set. We also have launched a new portal which is tailored for the kind of research you are interested in. So typically we have genomics data and omics data, but if you're a clinical research, you may not be interested in the deep omics data. What is the summary level information that you want to browse? So you can tailor your experience through the portal, where you can click through a drop down to tailor your experience. You can filter it through various different metadata, again, different data modalities, the metadata that we hold on that data, so you can at least find the resource that you're looking for. Again, how you cite information. This is particularly challenging, especially for data resources that have been long-standing, that's been around for a very long time. People tend to forget that they need to continue to cite that so that that resource can be maintained. So encouraging the researcher to cite that information so that we can continuously use the DOI to build out that knowledge graph as well. Again, you can download the data. So if the data is hosted in a viable data portal, you can click download, you can request access to data. And you can also find related data sets, as I mentioned to you before, related publications, related clinical trials, and or other resources as well. And you can also download data hosted in federated repositories. So we'll send you off to dbGaP if that's where the data is, or Biodata Catalyst, wherever it is. So you can it's literally your front door, front shop to go, starting point from where you can go to wherever it is. We're not trying to maintain all of the data in a central location. It is a jumping off point for you to build that out. So what are we also working on? We're also trying to highlight the sustainability of tools. Now, this is a very fuzzy concept. We have tool metadata. So lots of research organizations and and communities have come together to standardize how we curate tools. But tool sustainability is things like, how long ago was the security bugs squashed? Has there been any updates to that? Can it be Dockerized? Has it been? Is it installable today? Is it well documented to run in the cloud versus your laptop? So there are all of these issues around sustainability, because typically what happens is, and I've done it myself, is you push the code into GitHub, you write your paper, and you move on, and it never sees the light of day. 5-10 years later, when somebody wants to use that tool or algorithm, you have to start from scratch, really, because that tool wasn't maintained. So it at least gives you a sense, an idea of how well maintained that is. So again, we're trying to build a community around how do we measure sustainability of tools. So I know I have maybe 1 more minute, and I'll stop quickly. So this is all I want to talk to you about CCKP, but I want to use this opportunity to talk about my favorite topic in all time, which is around interoperability and the importance of that. So I hope I've highlighted to you through the CCKP. What we're trying to highlight is interoperability with multiple ecosystems. And for me, interoperability is the I in FAIR that nobody really wants to talk about. Things like ontology, knowledge graphs are the interoperability layer that we want to build. It's the ility that makes all of the other ilities look cool. And we do really need to pay attention to that. My point is, we as SAGE are trying to interconnect all of these different ecosystems. We have data portal and resources in Alzheimer's disease, in rare disease, in cancer, and we're trying to connect the dots together. But if you really want to build, foundational AI, you need to build the right foundations. And the foundations is on data, understanding that data inside out, the semantic relationships and how they interconnected with each other, and the qualifiers that connect them. So to build foundational AI, my argument is that you need to build the right foundations. And one of the foundations, and I'll tell you how challenging this is. This is Neil Lawrence's quote, and I'm quoting him. People don't really understand AI, and they think that if they put AI into their ecosystem, it's like a magic wand. It's not. It's like putting a high-tech Japanese commode into a Victorian flat that has no sewage and plumbing. The proverbial is going to hit the fan. It is that bad. We don't realize how really difficult our data ecosystem is. I used to work in the NHS and also in the UK charity. I've seen it. I've seen it in the US as well. It's really hard. If you don't have a good handle on that data, garbage in, garbage out. So that's my warning. And I'll stop with this. I'm going to leave you with 3 laws that I've made up. It's completely random, but 3 laws of responsible AI. First one, primacy of human well-being. Second one, obedience to legitimate governance. And third one is transparency and accountability. Because one of the other missing pieces of AI, especially with large language models and the infrastructure and the data and the training and the bias, is governance. Governance is the thing that will unlock a lot of this work. And you need to start with a shared understanding of what are the laws of responsible AI development. Again, it's not just laws are not enough. You need to have a risk-based access mechanism for the data that you have. And you need to have practical tools and implementation on how you enable governance at scale. With that, I will stop. Oh, right, I'm missing one slide, but it's a thank you to all my colleagues, both past and present, for their work.
Thank you. And